been a minute since we actually spoke on the pod about anything really. Let's talk about LeBron.
Cool.
LeBron cracks 40K. But then the question is it crazy that the NBA doesn't stop a game to congratulate him at the very least, or do like a dedication video?
Well, at first, like when I thought about it, I thought, well, they already did it for him when he broke the record, did they not?
Yes.
So I guess they thought he's not broken a record, he's just set a new standard, if so. But like then obviously I was watching First Things First, and then Nick Wright made an interesting point about when Michael Jordan hit 30K, they stopped the game and gave him an actual like trophy.
Yeah.
Which was nuts because he wasn't the first person to hit 30K. There's already been, I think, Will, Kareem and Karl Malone was already there at that point. And obviously when Steph Curry broke the 3-point record, they literally had like a ceremony.
Bro, the stadium was sold out.
Spike Lee was on his hands and knees taking photos. Yeah, I don't know. I think obviously Bron, it's a weird one with Bron. I don't know, like, because Bron is quite obviously, he's been the face of the league for like ever now, but 18
years maybe.
But at the same time, it kind of feels like, I don't know where I'm trying to go with this. It's like he's the face of the league, but it kind of feels like he still gets undervalued, if that makes sense. But listen, it was a great accomplishment. 40K. I don't think anyone else is gonna do it. So for setting a standard that maybe no one else in history of the sport is gonna reach, he could have got some commemoration. But I'm pretty sure he lost the game. Yeah. Yeah, and when he broke the record, he lost the game as well. So yeah, maybe all of his big moments keep coming in L. So
but the team's trash. Well, they're doing it right now. Like D'Lo's doing his thing, but I can't expect you to win the game.
It's a playing team at the end of the day. Yeah,
that's it. So
end of the day, I don't think it's that big of it. I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest.
I think
when LeBron James retires, he'll get the maddest farewell tour we've ever seen in sport. So
you see, the question is, yes, he will, but will he? I think there's always going to be a part where people don't want to celebrate him too much because, and it's a reality thing, right? That if you celebrate LeBron too much, they feel like you're undermining Jordan. True.
But I feel like, do you know the issue LeBron's actually such a weird case because there's Jordan stands that's obviously going to undermine everything LeBron's accomplished, but there's also Kobe stands.
Yep.
As well that he's finding, and there's Steph stands. You know what I mean?
I don't think the Steph stands are that valid. I ain't
outside of LeBron, Steph is the most popular basketball player. So
yeah,
he has a sizable.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in terms of like the weight that the world holds when it comes to like them stands talking, I don't think it's like Steph's stands are holding weight in this conversation. You know what I'm saying?
You can say the same about Kobe stands, but at the end of the day, like, not to be morbid, like, but. It's like, you know when someone dies and they get their flowers, that's what it's gonna be. That's what it's like when like a player retires. You know what I mean? Who's the example I'm thinking? Even someone like what's a good example? Even someone like Paul Pierce. Yeah, like I know he didn't get his farewell.
They don't love you like you're Kobe.
He still got a little bit of flowers and people like show some love. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think all of that is coming from LeBron. But I think just during his career, I think he was just fighting against too many. For someone as universally dominant as he is, he's fighting against too many naysayers. Like in football, it's Messi and Ronaldo, but it's literally just Messi stands versus Ronaldo stands. It's not like Neymar stands could come in and get involved. Or,
it's like, oh hey, but have you heard about Ronaldinho? Like, yeah, like bro, yeah, no, I get it.
Ronaldinho stands just stick to repping Ronaldinho. They don't try fight him against. Yeah,
like for me with LeBron, and this is coming from a LeBron stan. Like I am a LeBron stan. I'm not gonna lie to you. But it's the second you mention his name, they feel like you have to mention the others. And then the only thing that they have that can argue the case realistically is highlight clips and mentality, and then chips.
Yeah, I guess to further my point as well, the most interesting thing about I guess what LeBron's had to go through, we've never seen, like when he come into the league, we've never seen a guy come into the league with this much hype. Yeah. But he, like, when MJ was coming up, like, he didn't have as much hype as LeBron. He come into the league a lot older. He spent 3 years in college.
Came in the league at what, 22?
22. And he didn't have a MJ
beforehand
to be compared to.
There was great plays in the league, which was Bird and Magic. Yeah. But it wasn't like, you're going to come in and be the GOAT. Like,
listen, after MJ's first ring, they was calling him the greatest of all time. Yeah. there wasn't no one to say, yeah, but he isn't better than
Clyde Drexler. Like, well, Drexler was before that, but like Bill Russell.
Dr. J won 6 rings, like, so blah, blah, blah. But like, he didn't have to fight against none of that. Like, people was just like, yeah, like, this is the best we've ever seen. And that's how I feel about LeBron. Like, I've never seen anyone better at basketball than him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, accomplishments aside,
I think
before MJ even had the accomplishments that make up the bulk of his GOAT case, they was already calling him the GOAT.
And then a big thing for me is like when you appreciate things as a basketball player all round. So for example, when you've seen like there's been this whole thing of like college kids saying like Paul Pierce is my idol. Not Paul Pierce, sorry, Paul George is my idol. I like that because they look at a person with an all-round game. And I'm not saying like MJ's not all-round, but he's very multi-dimensional. But when it comes to all-round, LeBron should have had a defensive player of the year. So there's an era where you can say LeBron definitely could play defense and he's defended all 5 positions before.
Yeah, like
shooting, like he's a better 3-point shooter now, I would say, than he was when he was younger. But then athleticism, I don't think you've seen anyone like it. Even down to the age of like 39 or whatever. Then it goes on to the part of assists. When it comes to playmaking, knowing the game, understanding your opponent, when you hear all these things of like DeMar DeRozan saying to him like, oh, he's about to run this play, this is what they like to play in the third quarter at 4 minutes in. DeMar's looking at him saying, what the
IQ.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like he watches tape and I've never seen a person as great as LeBron or the Jordans and stuff like that love a game that they play as much as LeBron James. He's going to college games, he's going to high school games. He's watching it on ESPN. Yeah, he's seeing college kids and saying like, oh, what's up, GG? And he's like, how the hell do you know me? He's like, oh no, I know your game. I remember your game that you dropped. And cool, and eidetic memory might be a big part to it. But it's just when you see someone that is such a fan of the sport and love the sport that much, and then also be great at it, where it's not just the 40k points. Let's not forget he's got 10,000 plus of rebounds, 10,000 plus assists.
Yeah, so he's number 1 in score and he's probably going to be top 3. I don't know if he's going to catch Jason Kidd, but
I think he'll be top 4 in assists.
He'll be 3rd, I reckon, when it's all said. And he'll be.
He's what, 1,300 to catch Jason Kidd, something like that.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. But
he's just behind Chris Paul.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be top 10 in rebounding as well.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
He could get when you
10.
bring stuff like this up, they say, oh, it's like longevity awards and is a longevity, blah, 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 blah.
So this is my one thing to the greatness debate, right? For the GOAT debate. For me, greatness isn't something that's over a short span of time. When I look at the greatest players of any sport, right? For me, one of the tennis GOATs is Roger Federer. That's my GOAT for tennis, right? You can say Rafael Nadal as well if you want to. And then another GOAT is Serena Williams. An example of Serena Williams as to why she's the GOAT is because she played professional tennis for 27 years. And for 24 of them, she was ranked as a top 5 player in the world. Not female, a top 5 player in the world for 25 of those years. When I look at Shelly Ann Fraser-Price in athletics, how long has she been great for? Won
an Olympic gold medal in 2008.
Like, so that's like, greatness is a longevity. Tom Brady isn't just great because of his prime. His prime was so long that he was doing it in the Buccaneers. Like,
yeah, players like Brady and like LeBron, like they have like 3 separate Hall of Fame careers. Like,
so when I talk about greatness, because again, like let's say we use football as a reference as well, right? The peak of Ronaldinho might be amazing. But how long was it for?
This is my thing, yeah. Like with me, when I'm personally ranking players, I like to rank players on how good they was at their best.
Okay.
If it's 2 players that were like a comparable level at their best, you then look at how long was they able to maintain this level. Mm-hmm. So, say it's like Thierry Henry versus Benzema, right?
Okay.
Most people would have said Thierry Henry's best seasons are way better than Benzema's.
Cool.
The Benzema had that 2022 season where you can say that's probably a better season than any season Henry's ever had. Mm-hmm. Then, when you look at longevity, accomplishments, Benzema smokes him. So the one for, so like, with me, that's what I would factor in. I'd say I'd have Benzema over Henry all time.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's say like, what would be a good example in basketball?
Tracy McGrady versus Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, so that's a good one. That's a good one, actually. Carmelo had a better career than Tracy McGrady, but Tracy McGrady's best seasons are probably better than Carmelo's.
He was greater.
Yeah.
He was a greater player.
Yeah,
and that's it.
You know what I mean? So
like I see no, and I think that's the big thing with like the greatness debates that we do. Like when I say like who's the greatest Laker of all time, personally, I don't think it's Kobe. Right, in terms of who was the best player at the Lakers, but the greatest player in the Lakers, Kobe Bryant's name really and truly kind of carried the brand. Magic Johnson, realistically, for me, is like numero uno.
Magic has to be
like
as well.
Magic's numero uno, but like
I feel like Magic Johnson is synonymous with the LA Lakers just because of like what like because you have to think at the time where the Lakers was at the time.
Yeah.
They had Kareem, who was the best player of all time, most people would say at that point. They weren't winning titles. They were mid-pack. Kareem was winning MVPs, but they weren't doing in the playoffs. Jerry Buss has come and taken over the drafted Magic. Was adamant he wanted to draft Magic, and boom, they won 5 chips.
Yep.
So
Showtime. I
feel like, and everything, but the Lakers' history before that, outside of the years when it was in Minneapolis, it was just them losing to the Celtics.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
It's facts. That's where they got all them chips from.
After Magic, the Lakers have been way more successful than the Celtics. So I think Magic has to be synonymous with the Lakers.
And then I think the best player, you could say, after Magic is Shaq.
Yes.
But the greatest player for the Lakers is going to be Kobe Bryant after Magic Johnson.
Because he was there for longer.
A longer time, and he was still great at what he was doing as well. But the greatness just continued to play. Shaq left. He had a little bit of a downturn. Cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. Kobe Bryant might be a greater Laker, but in terms of the best Laker, simple as Shaq was winning all the finals MVPs whilst they were playing together. It's kind of an obvious thing. And that's where things will change around.
Shaq is one of those guys where the longevity debate kind of
kills him.
He kills, and I think he speaks on this himself. He's like, if he looked after himself a little bit better, he probably could have 2 more chips or whatever.
It would have been scary.
I know he would have been probably consensus top 3 all time.
Ooh, yeah, he could. He really could. I didn't think. Yeah. No, that's facts.
Yeah, we have to think Shaq was a phenomenon. He was when they did the NBA 50 thing. I think that was 96.
Yeah,
he was in the league for 4 years. Think about that.
Was it 92? Yeah.
So when they did the 75, the other day, it would have been like Luka making it.
Yeah. I mean, he can. I ain't lying to you. He couldn't want to. Yeah, everyone was looking sideways.
Even when Shaq made that himself, he said, "I don't think I've even done enough."
Okay.
To even be here amongst these legends.
We was arguing for Dwight Howard, so 100% you've done enough.
Dwight Howard at that point had already had an Hall of Fame career.
True.
This is Shaq probably would have still been on his rookie deal at this point. You know what I mean? And that's how great he was. You have to think Shaq made the NBA Finals in his 3rd season.
Second, no?
He got drafted in 92.
Third.
92. I think Penny got drafted in 93. By 95, they was in the finals. So yeah, Shaq was really phenomenal. It's really if the back end of his career would have ended a little bit more
positive.
And I think the thing that works against Shaq is Kobe ended up with more rings than him.
Yeah. The guy that you kind of had beef with, let's be honest.
Yeah,
and then for me, I think with Shaq, it's bro, you're forgetting. We always forget Shaq was under Celtics. After the Heat, there was
he was playing
he was everywhere, bro. So it's it just looked bad at the end of the career. So
yeah, listen, when sometimes it's just good to go out on a
high.
Yeah,
and that's why even I give respects to the Dirks. It wasn't a high, but it was a positive high. We know what you're doing. We know that it's fading away. But when
Tim Duncan
putting on weight, Tim Duncan's different though. Mr. Fundamental was crazy. But when you're putting on weight, getting a little bit sloppy, you can't be as dominant as you want. Shaq's career faded away, and that's why in the greatness conversations, it's a bit peak for you.
It's mad with Dirk because Dirk said them last 2 years he played, he says he probably should have done it.
Yeah,
because now
his stats are a bit down.
Yeah, his stats are, but even his body, he was putting his body through
trauma, not trauma, but hard times.
Yeah.
So with LeBron and the Jordan debate, I've been LeBron for about 5 years. I ain't gonna lie to you. But LeBron's my GOAT.
I feel right now, the debate is done now. So if you're team LeBron, that's you. If you're team, I don't think there's. I don't know what can happen for the Michael guys to change their mind.
I don't think there's no way for you to. And again,
the Lakers have to go back to back. LeBron, 2 more, they have to go back to back.
But you know what they're gonna say? Oh, but it's not the same. It's easier now. And I question where it's easy now, because the one thing that I hate in NBA debates, right, is hand checking. This myth of defense, right, where a league where you're allowed to be more physical, one of the most athletically gifted players would be allowed to use his physical dominance more. Yeah, I get it. There was 3 possessions where he might get.
Great fucking point,
bro. If you're gonna allow LeBron to grab a player and move them,
don't people say that LeBron's he's reliant on his physicality to be a good scorer?
So you're gonna put him in a physical era.
Let him be more physical.
That's a DPOY easy.
All the guys, He's more physical than Clyde Drexler.
Yep.
He's more physical than Karl Malone.
Yep.
He's more physical than Mike.
Yep.
He's more physical than Scotty.
Yep.
Like,
you can maybe say Barkley would have been more physical to an extent, but it's more violent than physical. But realistically, what are you going to do to stop
player
LeBron?
back then was as athletically gifted as LeBron.
Zero.
Maybe Jordan, like if you talk about like maybe like speed, verticality, but speed, size, and strength combination.
But about to say this is a 6'9" talking to a 6'6".
Exactly,
Or
like
6'10". LeBron's 6'10", like something like that.
Yeah.
But to 200 and then but he was allowed to keep his body in them conditions.
LeBron was at the same height as Pippen, maybe like 20, 30 pounds heavier, faster, stronger. Like, and Pippen was one of the like premier athletes of like his era, like. So, and obviously so was MJ, but
It's crazy.
I like the best like stat physical comparison to LeBron in that era would have been Karl Malone. LeBron's like heavier than him, faster than him.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's taking you to the perimeter at the very least. So
know what I mean? So if Karl Malone could dominate in that era, why the hell would LeBron?
I think the best person you could maybe try and defend him with would have been like Hakeem. And
the best bet would have probably been Pippen.
yeah,
It probably would have been Pippen.
It would have been a good matchup. But yeah, no.
Maybe you could put Dennis Rodman on him and have Pippen like helping off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rodman getting cooked though. He's getting cooked.
I don't know
You
if
ain't gonna do no night in Vegas and go
I don't
LeBron.
know
Like.
if Rodman's got the foot speed to stay in front of LeBron.
So yeah, that's where it's a bit crazy. But the GOAT debate is the GOAT debate. It's gonna be an everlasting thing. I think. I don't think you can like spin it.
I honestly, I'm fed up of it now. Like honestly, like
This is what you got to do. We've been podding on this pod for just over a year now. Be a year and 2 months. We've never mentioned it.
yeah. Listen,
and it's just because it was so hyped that we kind of have to.
Yeah, this is the first time we've spoken about this. Like this is such a tired debate now.
I'm so over it, but it is what it is.
As always, guys, thank you for listening. Make sure to support us on YouTube, like, subscribe, share, support us on all our platforms as well. Love.